Good day to you all, comrades and friends. This is Global Weekly News, serial number 33. First, let us pay homage to earthquake victims of Turkey and Syria. Comrades, we are going to see first what's happening in Ecuador. Ecuador is a country in South America. Quito is the capital. Ecuadorian government persecuted Ola Bini, a Swedish software developer, in 2019. Ola Bini is a member of Digital Autonomy Center. This center champions the cause of human rights and digital security. This is not criminal. Ola Bini was arrested in Quito on 11th April 2019. Well, the same day, Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks Media and who exposed the war crimes of America in Iraq and Afghanistan, etc., was arrested in London from the Ecuadorian embassy. Human rights activists all over the world condemned the arrest of Ola Bini by Lenin Moreno government. Ola Bini was released after 70 days. The prosecutors could not give any evidence on the allegations. Prosecutors amended the allegations against Ola Bini many times. Ola Bini was alleged to have hacked the government computer. If this is proved, he will get 3 to 5 years jail term. In 2019 September, the judge recused himself from the case. During the trial period, digital rights organizations like Access Now, Article 19 and Electronic Frontier Foundation conducted international solidarity campaign to release Ola Bini and withdraw the false allegations. Three-judge Tribunal of Quito Court acquitted Ola Bini after reading out a statement for 4.5 hours. The prosecution side will prefer an appeal. The lawyers' counsel for Ola Bini are ready to counter the appeal. Ola Bini, after getting acquitted, said that judgment is a great victory and cybersecurity experts can safely do their work. Attack on one activist, Ola Bini, was an attack on entire ecosystem, an entire world of digital rights activism, which seeks to actually protect privacy and integrity of users online. This attack is a political attack. Ecuador embassy at London gave asylum to Julian Assange, but later in 2019 yielded to the pressure of United States and sent him out of the embassy so that he could be arrested by United Kingdom police. And now Julian Assange is in Belmarsh prison in London. US is trying to expatriate Assange to United States, involve him in a trial on false allegations. If proved guilty, could lead to a sentence of 175 years jail term. Assange is the citizen of Australia. Well, the English-speaking United Kingdom, United States and Australia are traveling in the path of killing justice. Comrades and friends, let us go to Colombia, another South American country. Inter-American Court of Human Rights delivered an important judgment on 30th January after a virtual trial. During the 1980s, rightist paramilitary forces, groups and security forces of Colombia are responsible for the murder of about 6,000 activists of Patriotic Union Left Party. This is the judgment. After 30 years of legal battle, the survivors of the genocide have won legal victory. Gustavo Petro, the left president, the first left president of Colombia, greeted the victors. Patricia Ariza, the cultural minister belonging to the Patriotic Union Party, said that the survivors are crying out of joy. Senator Ida Avlov also greeted the verdict. He also belongs to Patriotic Union Party. Another senator, Ivan Cepeda, said that this judgment has helped to prevent political genocide in the future. The General Secretary of the Patriotic Union Party said that his party will fight for reparations, compensations for the survivors of the victims. Patriotic Union was founded in 1985, May 28. Peace negotiations took place between the National Secretariat of Revolutionary Armed Forces and the then conservative government. At the end, Patriotic Union Party was founded, that is in 1885. In 86 itself, Patriotic Union Party contested the elections. The leaders and cadres of the party were very much attacked. Several sexual violence also took part. Many have to leave their homes. In 2002, as per the new electoral laws, Patriotic Union lost its political status. However, in 2013, the Supreme Court of Colombia restored its political status. It takes a long time to establish justice. Even the presidential candidate was murdered in the past in Colombia. Left government came only a few months back. Still, it has to face challenges of the right forces and paramilitary groups. Left Colombian government will make progress in sustaining peace. Comrades and friends, the third item we are going to see, hands of Africa, hands of Asia. Western corporations and governments enter Africa in a big way, exploit the minerals, wealth and metals. Congo region is also exploited. Recently, when Pope Francis visited Africa, he gave the slogan, hands of Africa. Now a new Cold War has started between the United States and China. US is trying to set aside the Chinese business institutions from trading in Africa. US has established 5 new military facilities in the Philippines. 3 of them are in Luzon Island at a striking distance of Taiwan. In 1898, US conquered Philippines. During the Spanish-American War, US won using the nationalists of Philippines. During the Second World War, US military bases were established in Philippines. In Subic Bay of Philippines, tens of thousands of US troops were stationed. They were used in its war against Japan in the Second World War. In 1992, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, US troops were withdrawn from Subic Bay in the name of cost cutting. US is considering economic growth of China as a big challenge to its global domination. Therefore, US has now sent its troops again to Subic Bay of Philippines. Now we have to say hands of Asia. Taiwan is a part of People's Republic of China. US is attempting to make Taiwan as Ukraine of East Asia. US Speaker Nancy Pelosi and a few US congressmen, that is parliamentary members, visited Taiwan, provoking China. US has signed arms deals with Taiwan. US military bases in Luzon Island of Philippines are a direct threat to China. After Nancy Pelosi left Taiwan, China has blocked the airspace over Taiwan. International community, including United States, had recognized China as one China. Beijing is the legal capital of Taiwan, but US considers Taipei as the capital of Taiwan. Both US and China are having nuclear powers. Similarly, there is tension between India and Pakistan, nuclear-powered countries both, over the issue of Azad Kashmir. We have to loudly say to United States of America, hands of Philippines, hands of Africa, hands of Asia. Fourth, let us go to South Africa, comrades and friends. Alabale Base Jondolo, Briefly, ABM social movement of sack dollars or hut dollars of South Africa. That movement was started in 2005. This is a movement of the poor people. These people are struggling for sanitation and water facilities and alternate dwelling units in case of eviction. On 31st January, three leaders of ABM arrested on the allegation of murders were released. It is a regular routine affair for the government to arrest the leaders of ABM movement, refuse to release them on bail, and then release since there is a lack of evidence. These three leaders were arrested in 2022 November and then came out on bail. The prosecution argued that it is very dangerous to release them. The prosecution arguments were based on the allegations of those who indulged in violence against ABM cadres. There are 11,500 members in 86 branches for ABM movement. They are used to cultivate small lands and conduct political classes nearby their huts or shackles. Capitalist countries tolerate some welfare measures for the poor landless people, but the ruling elites do not tolerate dispersal of free house sites and housing facilities to the poor. In the last few years, 24 ABM leaders were killed by African National Congress-led government. Many were killed in 2022. South African government has failed to defend human lives. Comrades, next we go to Peru. Pedro Castillo, a rural elementary school teacher and a peasant leader, was elected as the new president. He was sworn in on 28 July 2021. Though leftist, he could not carry out his electoral promises. The rightist forces are the major The rightist forces are the majority in the parliament. On 7th December 2022, Pedro Castillo declared dissolution of the parliament and national emergency. But the rightist forces, through a legislative coup, removed Petro from presidency and put him in preventive detention for 18 months. The deputy president, Dina Boluarte, became the de facto president. She does not have approval of 90% people. People of Peru in thousands are on the streets since 7th December. Government repressed the protesters by use of canister balls, tear gas and pellet spray, etc. So far, 60 were killed by government repression. Lima, the capital of Peru, is now the epicenter of the protesters. The demands are release of Pedro Castillo, immediate elections to the parliament within 120 days, resignation of Dina Boluarte, and constitution of a new constituent assembly. Dina Boluarte government brought a new bill to conduct elections in 2023 October instead of April 2024. But still, the bill was defeated in the parliament. People are on continuous struggles. Lastly, we are going to see the atrocities of Israel. Comrades and friends, 1948, Nakba, that is the Palestinian catastrophe. Every year on 15th May, Palestinians commemorate the Nakba Day. 78% of Palestinian territory was occupied by Jewish Israelis. 7 lakh Palestinians, half of the population, were forced to go to refugee camps. 500 Palestinian villages were destroyed. 15,000 Palestinians were killed at that time in 1948. That is called the Nakba Day. In 1993, in Oslo of Norway, an accord was reached, an agreement was reached between Rabin government of Israel and Palestinian Liberation Organization leader Mahmoud Abbas. As per this Oslo Accord, Palestinians are to give up terrorism, allow Israel to exist in peace, and to continue negotiations. This accord or agreement will be in force for 5 years. Rabin of Israel was killed. Benjamin Netanyahu became the prime minister for the 7th time in alliance with the far-right parties. Netanyahu's party, the Likud party, believes in fully evacuating Palestinians. Election after election in Israel brings more and more rightist forces to power. Last week we mentioned about the killings of 8 Palestinians in Jenin. After these killings, a Palestinian shot at the innocents from outside synagogue. Synagogue is the temple of Jews, the holy temple of Jews. Synagogue. Israel government resorted to reprisals. Such sort of activities go on since 1948. Anthony Blinken, US Secretary of State, he visited Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel, recently. He met all the concerned people. He said that he is exhausted talking about the Palestinian question. He said that Oslo Accords may be renewed so that there will be Israel, there will be Palestine, and there will be peace. Palestinian Authority was formed as per the Oslo Accord, but Israel government did not cooperate with this authority. Last year, 2022, Israel started killing the Palestinians in the name of Operation Break the Wave. In continuation, they killed 8 Palestinians in Jenin. West Bank is the occupied area. Even UN is saying this. But Israeli forces freely enter West Bank and kill Palestinians. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, gave an interview to CNN. He said that when Donald Trump was the president, US President, Abraham Accords were arrived at between many Arab-speaking countries. Thus, Palestine was politically isolated. Anthony Blinken said the horizon of hope has narrowed down for the Palestinians. But US is not taking any steps to bring hope to Palestinians. US along with Israel is conducting large-scale joint military exercise called Juniper Oak. This is not cancelled. Both Blinken and Netanyahu do not like two-state solution, Israel and Palestine. They desire Palestinians to be deported to Lebanon, Jordan and Egypt. Three-state solution. This is not acceptable to Palestinians and therefore Palestinians are continuously struggling for their homeland. Thank you for your patient listening. We'll see you next week. Lal Salam.